everyone. Welcome to English for You. I'm Mike.
And I'm Laura.
And she's Laura. Well, she's mostly Laura. Yeah. Some of her is well-cooked Laura.
Exactly.
Because I heard you were doing research last night and all this morning about today's topic.
Exactly.
And you burned yourself for our education.
Well, I sacrificed for you guys.
That's right. She sacrificed her own flesh for us because she was trying to make France's perfect baguette. Taiwan's perfect French baguette.
That's true. That's true.
That's right. That's a difficult thing to do. And look how hard it is. Look how hard she tried.
I really did
She burned her whole hand off. Well, not off, but, you did give it a light toasting.
Oh, I did.
Like a nice fresh baguette in order to get the best research and have the best knowledge about this famous French food dish. Oh. La baguette. I think it would be la. I think it would be la because it has an E on the end, but no, don't get mad at me. Mm-hmm. We're going to be learning all about everything you need to know about France's baguette. You can go out and buy yourself one and nibble on it while we're talking. And of course, we're also going to make sure. Oh, and if you hear any strange noises today, that's just because she's a little overcooked. And we're trying to cool her down right now so we can enjoy reading this article together at a comfortable temperature, all about a wonderful food dish from France, the very well-known baguette. So let's get into it.
Reading. Everything you need to know about France's baguette. France is full of many iconic images. Boulangerie, French bakeries, are a classic example. Step inside one, and you'll no doubt see another iconic part of French culture, the baguette. Based on this introduction, you likely have an idea of what a baguette is. But just in case you're not sure, it's the long, stick-like bread. It's an easy mistake to think that there is only one type of baguette. In fact, there are many types. They range from decorative varieties to different flavors. The most common variety, and perhaps the most important, is the baguette de tradition. These are special because in France, they can only contain wheat, water, yeast, and salt by law. What's more, they must be sold fresh, which means that they must be made on site. So, only bakeries, not supermarkets, can sell them. No matter which type of baguette they desire, French people tend to buy their baguettes from bakeries anyway. Doing this makes sure that the bread is of a high quality. When choosing a baguette, people will gently squeeze them. French people consider baguettes to be good when they make a quiet crunch noise and feel soft.
All right, let's get into our article and find out more about le baguette. Well, it actually comes to us from France, which, as we learn in our first sentence, is a place with a lot of famous things. Yeah. France is full of many iconic images. Now, you can think of images like actual pictures you've seen, like a picture of the Eiffel Tower at night or a picture of the gardens at Versailles, and we can look, that's France. It just breathes Frenchness. So, of course, it's full of many iconic images. Even if you've never been there, there's lots of things I could show you. And you go, oh, yeah, that's in France. And some of those things are actually some of the stores that you might find all over the country, from big cities to small towns. So it's not just famous buildings. It's also very common things that are typically French. Here's a good one. Boulangerie. French bakeries are a classic example.
Wow.
Yeah, they even have kind of copies of those here in Taiwan. I've seen lots in Tokyo, and of course they have the French breads in the window. They might have special writing on the glass. It just has this feeling of a French bakery known as a boulangerie.
Boulangerie.
Very nice, very nice.
Iconic 是什么呢？就是有象征意义的、具代表性的，它是一个形容词。所以如果你去法国，你就会觉得它真的是充满许多具有代表性的形象哦。 像是 boulangerie、是什么呢？就是法国面包店，就是一个经典的例子啦。
Yeah, and still very popular. A lot of French people still don't go to big supermarkets like we know them. They get their bread at the boulangerie, their cheese at the fromagerie.Their meat at the charcuterie and all of these other things. So, of course, it's a wonderful place to go if you're French and you're just buying your lunch, or if you're a tourist and you're looking for a little bit of French culture. As it says, step inside one and you'll no doubt see another iconic part of French culture, the baguette. Yes, if you go into a French bakery, you will see French bread, the classic example being the baguette.And
that's what I tried to bake, okay?
You did a good job.
I baked my hand instead.
It's a Laura flavored baguette.
Okay, 好哦，今天我们要讲的就是让我手烫伤的 baguette， 也就是法国长棍面包。所以我们如果走进一家，哇，这个在法国的面包店，肯定会看到法国文化这个另外一个象征性的元素，也就是 baguette.
All right, so based on this introduction, everything we've told you so far, and...probably based on some photographs in the magazine you might be looking at right now. But based on this introduction, what we've told you, what you can see, you likely have an idea of what a baguette is. Even if you don't know the name, if I show you one and say, that's a baguette, you'll probably go, oh, yeah, I've seen one of those. But just in case you're not sure, it's the long stick-like bread. And it's really the shape of the baguette that makes it so unique, right? It makes
and
it
the taste, of course.
And the taste, too. But just the shape is so special, so quintessentially French.
Yummy. Okay, be based on something 就是根据什么什么。For example, based on his qualifications and experience, John is a perfect fit for the job. 所以课文提到的根据什么呢？根据我们刚刚的介绍，你可能已经对法国这个长棍面包有了一个概念哦。但倘若你不懂它是什么啊，其实它就是一个长条形的面包啦。
Now, it's an easy mistake to think that there is only one type of baguette, right? I mean, we see the same one. It's made with kind of white flour. It's kind of a golden brown color. It's got that typical long stick shape. So you might think that there is a baguette and only one kind of baguette. That's all you get. That's all people go out and shop for. But maybe that's not right.
Okay.
Just because it's famous doesn't mean it's the only one.
I thought there was only one. Okay. So, yeah. 一般人可能会很容易跟我一样错误的以为说，只有一种类型的法棍啊。So there's more than one?
Apparently there are. The article tells us. In fact, or in truth, the reality is there are many types. There are many. I was saying, remember there's like a whole wheat one. Right, the different wheat,
kind of like bagels
flour,
idea.
Yeah, or maybe they add things in. I don't know, cheese, olives, who knows? Anyways, it says they range from decorative varieties to different flavors.
Yeah,
wow,
so
they really use the baguette as a way to be creative, and they can have decorative varieties. That might be, it just looks nice. You might put it in the middle of a table at a fancy dinner. Maybe you're not even really eating it. It just looks beautiful to different flavors. So yeah, they probably have sweeter ones, saltier ones, cheesy ones,
garlicky ones,
maybe tomatoey ones.
Oh,
I don't know.
I do want those.
All sorts of different kinds. There's a huge range of flavors for sure. And just before I said that baguettes range from sweet ones to salty ones, from this to that. We can also use range as a noun. There is a range of things, but in either case, a noun or a verb, as we're using it in our article, it basically shows you there is a wide variety. There's a lot of choices. It goes from this one over here all the way to that one over there and everything in between. That is to range from something to something. For example, a normal meal at this restaurant would range from 300 to 800 NT. Somewhere in there, that's your normal meal.
当我们在形容一个范围包括什么的话，我们会用 range， 然后这是一个动词，然后常见的片语有 range from something to something， 范围包括从什么到什么什么。I can think of ice cream flavors.
Oh, yes.
Flavors of ice cream at this shop range from traditional vanilla and chocolate to more unique options like lavender and avocado. I want to try avocado ice cream.
Okay, I'm not sure about lavender. It'd be like flowers
That's true.
in your ice cream. But that might be an interesting thing to try. And when we talk about how things range from this to this, or using it as a noun, arrange, that brings us very close to the meaning of our next word, variety. All right, a variety is like a range. It's a wide selection of things. If you go to a restaurant and the menu has many pages and it's got Thai food, Japanese food, American food, Italian food. Wow, what a wide variety of food styles that they have there. We like variety because it gives us lots of things to choose from, right? Lots of choices. There you go. For example, Muriel likes insects. And she keeps a variety of beetles at home as pets, from cute little ladybugs to those giant weird ones that people in Japan collect with horns and they fight, and it's a big variety. I'm not saying you'll like it, but she loves it.
She loves it. Okay. Variety 是什么呢？就是种类啦，它是一个名词哦。So for example, the farmer's market offers a variety of fresh produce, including fruits and vegetables that are not commonly found in supermarkets. And we also saw the adjective decorative, 就是做装饰用的. It looks like the noun decoration, right? 所以课文是说，实际上有很多种类，它们从装饰品种到不同的口味都有哦。I want to try those decorative ones.
I'd like to see some. I'm sure they get very, very creative. But let's get back to the one we mostly think of when we hear or see a baguette. It says the most common variety, and perhaps the most important, is the baguette de tradition.
Very well
The traditional
pronounced.
baguette, the basic baguette.
The baguette de tradition. OK, 最常见的品种，也许就是最重要的，因为我们吃到可能就是这一种，是传统的法国的长棍面包。
Now, why is that one of the most loved baguettes? Well, because everyone has it. It says these are special because in France they can only contain wheat, water, yeast, and salt. By law.
By law.
They actually have
strict.
laws. And I think there's also a law about how much it should weigh and how long it should be.
Wow.
So if you go to your bakery or your boulangerie
So detailed.
and they're making it wrong, I guess you call the baguette police. I don't know. Do they get arrested?
You're breaking the law.
Do they take them? I'm innocent. I'm innocent.
I'm kind of confused about that.
I don't know, but that just shows how serious French people are about the baguette. It's even protected by law. And of course, they are using wheat to make this because wheat is a grain type of grass that we eat that is grown to make flour. And we use, of course, flour, which is crushed wheat.
Right.
We use that to make cookies and bread and cakes and pies, and basically anything you bake, anything that is a bread product can probably be made from wheat, and probably is made from wheat because it's one of the most common grains that people grow and eat. For example, before the war, Ukraine used to sell lots of wheat to countries all around the world. But Vladimir Putin ruined that for everyone.
Wheat 是什么呢？就是小麦，它是一个名词，而 yeast 呢就是酵母。这些都是很重要的元素在 baguette 当中。By law 根据法律 ，OK， 我们所以要提到这个传统的法国很特别，因为根据法律很严格哦，在法国他们只能包含小麦、水、酵母跟盐哦。
All right, and there's more rules about how a baguette should be properly taken care of and presented to French people. It says, what's more, they must be sold fresh, which means that they must be made on site. Wow, so you can't like have a big baguette factory and just send them all over the city or the area. You have to have a bakery with a kitchen in the back where they are making the baguette. So I guess finding a day-old, yesterday's baguette, you can't do that in France.
Nice. Okay, because I like bread when they're freshly baked.
It's most delicious when it's fresh.
Exactly.
So,
And I love smelling them. Okay. 而且呢，他们必须要新鲜出售哦，这就意味着他们必须要在现场制作。On site 这个片语就是在可能工作或是某个活动的现场。
So only bakeries, not supermarkets,
not you.
can sell them. Wow, that's interesting.
I didn't know that.
Even if the supermarket has a bakery in the back, a little kitchen? And what about Carrefour? Carrefour is a French company. I go to their big store
right.
here and I can find baguettes. Are
right.
they breaking the French laws by doing
they
this?
taste different.
They
I don't
taste
think
different.
they're not
That's
so
true.
good. Yeah.
But then anyways, we learned that in France, apparently to buy a baguette, you have to make it where you buy it. And this idea that we have today, which is common, of making all the food in one place and then using trucks to send it around. Nope, you can't do that with baguettes, as it says. So only bakeries, not supermarkets, can sell them. And then we read, no matter which type of baguette they desire, French people tend to buy their baguettes from bakeries anyway. So even if they have the choice to go to a big store and buy them, most French people would be like, nah, they won't be so fresh. And, you know, I know the local bakery guy. He's friendly. I'm going to go there. So I think that's a good thing.
I would do that too.
Yeah. All right, let's have a look at this word tend. Yeah, so there we saw that word tend. Normally we say tend to something. So to is the preposition that almost always goes with tend. And when you tend to do something, that means what you usually do. It's your normal habit. You know, 6 days out of 7 during the week, this is what you do most of the time. This is what you do. You tend to do things because it's part of your habit, your daily routine, or it's just the way you like to do things. For example, Roger tends to take a shower in the morning and not at night. Yeah, people in North America and Europe tend to take showers in the morning and not at night. But, you know, maybe if they exercise at night, they will, but they tend to. They usually do it in the morning.
Tend 就是倾向于什么什么 tend to do something 就是往往都会怎么样 People tend to eat more junk food when they are stressed or emotional rather than when they are hungry. 因此呢，只有面包店而不是超市可以出售它们哦。所以呢，无论他们想要哪种类型的法国的这个 baguette， 法国人往往还是会从这个面包店购买。
So buying your baguette from the local bakery is a good idea for many reasons, but here's one of the best. It says doing this makes sure that the bread is of a high quality. Absolutely. If you know the person making the bread and they know you, probably they will do a better job.
Of course.
Because they want to give you good quality product. What is quality? It's basically how good something is on a range from really not good to oh my gosh, this is the best bread I've ever had. So top quality is really, really good and maybe a little bit more expensive. Low quality, you're not too worried about how good it is or how long it lasts, but it's cheap. So we tend to judge things that we buy or services that we use on the level of good or not so good or great, and we call that range the quality of the thing. For example, I should say, the low-quality sneakers Zeke bought started to fall apart after just 4 months. Yeah, low-quality shoes are often a waste of money because they'll just fall apart.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm actually willing to pay extra for a higher quality product because they last longer.
Some things it's important
Right.
to.
So quality 当然就是品质的意思，它是一个名词哦。Okay, so 刚刚课文是说这样做可以确保面包的高品质。
Back to the article, it says, when choosing a baguette, people will gently squeeze them. So if you see a bunch of French people squeezing their bread, they are judging the quality of the baguette. And yeah, you do that by squeezing the baguette. It's crunchy. It makes a little cracking sound. It's lovely. To squeeze is to press something from the outside. You're probably using your hand and you're putting pressure. You're pushing in on all sides from the outside to the inside. Think of how you get toothpaste out of a tube or shampoo out of a bottle. You don't just let it fall out or pour out. You squeeze it to kind of push it out by pushing from the outside in. For example, Abigail squeezed the mustard from the bottle onto her hot dog. Be careful because sometimes the mustard shoots out and you get it on your shirt. Oh, it's the worst.
Okay, squeeze 当然就是挤啊、捏啊，它是个动词哦，所以选择法棍的时候，人们会轻轻的挤压它们。So they're not going to buy them if they don't like the baguettes after they squeeze them?
That's a good way of kind of telling you how old it is as well. If it's very fresh, it'll be a little bit nicer. So here's what you look for. It says French people consider baguettes to be good or good quality when they make a quiet good crunch noise, that's the outside, and feel soft. So the classic crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside, that is a good baguette. Because they do dry out. So if they're kind of dry on the inside, you
Not
know
so
it's
soft.
probably from, 12 hours ago. Not so good.
Okay. 我们来看一下今天的 language in focus， 就是 consider 的用法。consider 后面接受词加受词补语的句型，就是表示是什么为什么，或是认为什么什么。那它的受词补语常常是名词啦、形容词或者是不定词等等哦，所以整个句型是主词加 consider， 再接受词，然后 to be 可以省略，也可以放着，然后后面接形容词或是名词。For example, I consider Celine to be a reliable and trustworthy friend. 我认为 Celine 是个可靠且值得信任的朋友哦。那 consider 也可以常常用被动语态来表示被视为什么什么，句型像是这样子，主词接 be 动词，然后接 considered， 然后 to be， 然后后面接形容词或者是名词 by blah blah blah。 to be 一样也可以省略哦。For example, the actor is considered to be a legend in Hollywood。所以法国人认为这个法国的 baguette 在发出轻微的嘎吱声和感觉柔软的时候就是最好的哦。crunch 这个名词哦，就是指东西啊会被碾碎或是咬下时候的嘎吱声。I'm getting hungry talking all about this baguette.
I just want to hear that crunch. Just hearing the crunch makes me hungry for a baguette.
Yes.
So there you go. We're going to come back with our chat question in just a moment while we dream of bread.
You chat.
All right, so our article today was all about the baguette, that iconic French food item, but we did begin talking about many of the other things that you would think of when we say France and not just their very cool bread. So let's get back to that. What do you think of, not baguettes, but other things, what do you think of when you think of France or France?
When I think of France, of course, I think of the Eiffel Tower you mentioned earlier,
yes.
the Louvre Museum,
Formidable.
the delicious food, the wine, the fashion, of course, don't forget the fashion,
Vraiment chic.
and the charming streets of Paris.
A little dirty.
Yeah, and I associate France usually with art, culture, history, and a certain romantic charm that is unique to the country.
All right, I think of all of those things as well. And of course, since we're getting into the summer, I'll throw out one other thing. The Tour de France.
Of course.
I think of people riding bicycles around for a month in France because they're crazy. So there you go. A lot of wonderful things to enjoy in France. And look at that. All of those things, the food, the wine, I don't know if you can take one into the Louvre. You can watch the Tour de France. So. Most of those things you can do with a baguette.
Yeah, sure. Bien sûr.
I think you could go to a fashion show while eating a baguette. I'm not sure. I've never done that, but it would be very French. We're going to find out more about this wonderful, delicious baguette food thing tomorrow. So come back and join us for that. Until then, à bientôt.
À bientôt.
Au revoir. Vocabulary Review.
Range. We have many TVs for sale in our store, ranging from small, cheaper ones to huge, expensive ones. Variety. There are several varieties of restaurants in Taipei. Japanese, Korean, Indian, Western, and Taiwanese restaurants are all here. Wheat. We grow wheat on this farm and use it to make delicious bread and cakes. Tend. I tend to eat unhealthy snacks at night if I don't eat a good dinner. Quality. The quality of this beef is great. I'm sure it will taste really good. Squeeze. Don't squeeze the tube too hard or the hand cream will come out too quickly.
智慧小补帖。
Iconic. Decorative. Yeast. On site. Crunch.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net